Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the League of Europe. We're here for more Formula 2 action. I am Killaboo195. After a week away, I'm back, and I am joined by the delightful Matt, or Matthias. After, I'm not sure, when were you last with us, Matt? Was it Azerbaijan, I think?
Yeah, I think it was Azerbaijan quite a while ago. Too long.
Well, it's an absolute delight to have us back, the OG duo, as it were. Um, and we're at Austria, so we've only got 3 rounds left in the championship. This is round 10. We've got Belgium and Bahrain, two absolute classics that I cannot wait for to come. And we have another fabulous track today, Austria's shortest track of the season, because of course we've had no Monaco this season, and we're going to dive right into qualifying. I'm going to go on board with whoever the game has decided we're going to go on board with, and that's Heated LH. He's very slow to turn one, lifting off very, very early there, and I wonder if he's already backed out of qualifying. It looks like it, or am I just not used to how these F2 cars are handling? Well, I
No,
think
no, you're definitely right.
he's lifting off. We'll go on board with VTI Doc there, hooking up round turn 3, runs a little bit wide on the curb, not too wide, keeps it nice and straight, and then this is a bit of a curvy straight. You can see it's quite wonky. You want to go right through the middle from the right to the left to open up the downhill turn 4. Very tricky braking zone, particularly without ABS, but it's F2, so I'm pretty sure all of these guys will be using the brake assist. And then he opens up the corner for turn 5 nicely, runs very far up the curb, takes a late apex, but that allows him to straighten the car nice and early towards turn 7. And it's him and the other Prima, Rocky Raccoon, who are leading proceedings so far as we come into sector 3. It's Prima 1-2, but Cali, Lond, Tim, the other title contenders, are just behind. And very nice turn 8 from Doc. Keeps it nice and sensibly in bounds. Runs a little wide over the white line, but he gets away with it, does the Prima, and he gets pole position with a 13.6 by just over a tenth from his teammate. 13.7 for Rocky Raccoon. Cali, Tim, Don just behind. But I haven't ran through the championship standings yet. I'll do that as we go to the formation lap. But for the in terms of the championship, that is as spicy as you like, isn't it? Doc and Rocky Raccoon, they're a little way behind at the moment, but they're on the front row, and if they're going to win this championship, they need a huge result today. But yeah, that's a very, very interesting quali result, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. I was on board with VTI Doc after seeing he did back off, and he really hooked up Sector 2 incredibly nicely. Maybe a little mistake out of the hairpin, but other than that, just really nice to see. It's the VTI Doc I remember from the start of the season.
Yeah, those Primas had a very sensational start in Brazil. I think Rocky Raccoon won the feature, VTI Doc won the sprint, if my memory serves me well. But since then, they've had an up and down season. They've missed a few races between them. And yeah, it was the Primas who won all of the first 2 races, and in fact 4 of the first 5. VTI Doc looked like at one point he was going to run away with it, but then had a double DNS, did not start, Netherlands and Abu Dhabi, and that really brought Cali into it. But then Cali missed Singapore last week, which, after it looked like the title was opening up after France in his favour, it's now closing back up again. So I'll run through the standings. It's XL Cali who leads the championship on 245 points. Londa Tim second on 240. BTI Doc third is 218. 206 for Ryan B 1994. He's had a really solid, consistent season. Not too many headline results. I don't think he has won a race. He has the Russia sprint race, but other than that, just very solid performances from the Brit. Rocky Raccoon is 5th. He starts 2nd today on the left-hand side of your screen, as you can see. Ariel Jordan is 6th on 195. Plitzy Alex is 7th on 186. And then there's a way back to Lars in 8th for HWA. He is on 152, and something in no man's land, because Alt Maverick is another 29 points back on 123. Passe 113. Jerome Visser on 102. Then Eisen, Ibo, Don, Dark, Jav, and Calvin, and Hennep, and Fuckstorm. Naughty name there. The remainder of our drivers. The delightful Fuckstorm. The only time I'll be able to say the word Fuckstorm on stream, starting in P11 in the brilliantly BWT branded HWA, as you can see. And let's ride on board with Fuckstorm through the formation lap. So let's have a look at the tyres. Most people going for super softs. Alex is on the softs. Jav is on the softs. ISRR Dark on the softs, and as you can see on board with Fuckstorm, he's on the super soft. Sorry, well, we'll be sure to check in with Fuckstorm at many points throughout the stream this evening. But who are you fancying? Very short formation up. I've spent too much of it saying Fuckstorm, but who are you fancying for this race, Matt?
Yeah, I'd like to see what the Primus can do. I'm definitely expecting them to be very strong in the race, looking at their qualifying pace. And yeah, I think they'll be the first two. I'm going to keep the order as it is in the top two. And in third, I'm going to go for Jordan.
Oh, that's an interesting pick.
He's got the pace to relentlessly hamper the top guys, so he's going to do that.
Either Jordan, I've seemed to notice either this season he always can't stop getting into trouble, or he just calmly drives through it. So we shall see. It's the two Primas on the front row. VTI Doc is on the right of your screen. Rocky Raccoon's on your left. Callie and Londa Tim, the championship protagonists, are featured in the top four, and it's lights out. Away we go. Looks like Doc got a much better start than his teammate Rocky Raccoon. But let's see how they go into turn one. As Callie taps the back of Doc, I think, into turn one. Rocky Raccoon gets pinched across the apex, but he comes out unscathed. It's Doc who leads them up the hill from his teammate Rocky Raccoon. It's Callie then, and Londa Tim is in third. It's As You Were in the top four, but there's slipstream galore as they head up the hill. Jordan and Don are going side by side. I think that is in towards turn three, but it is Doc who holds on just about. Callie has a look at Rocky Raccoon. Londa Tim's up against the curb there of turn three, and that gives Don an incentive perhaps to get in amongst it. So it's Callie that's now into second ahead of Rocky Raccoon. Rocky tucks in behind him. Will he have a lunge towards turn four? It looks like they're 5 or 6 abreast coming down the hill there. And further back, yeah, we've got Jordan. He's got 3 cars pinched up against each other behind them. That's Dari, Alex and Lars going into turn 4, 3 abreast. But Doc already has a 7/10 of a second lead as we come out of the second sector.
Yeah, really impressive from Doc. I saw their team indeed hopping over that curb at the hairpin, just trying to avoid contact with anyone. Very safe driving, but of course it's not the quick.
And at the back, Fuckstorm has crashed. Oh no, he was side by side with Jav and ST5. I saw both past him, and then I'm not sure what happened. He must have lit up the rear tyres, and he's got wing damage. Surprised that didn't total his car, but. Fuckstorm is very much, I think, out of this race, effectively out of this race, because he's down in P16. So, unfortunately for me, we're not going to be talking about him too much today. But we've got Doc still leading, and further back of that, we've got Tim having a little look at Rocky Raccoon towards turn 3. Not fancying a go on this occasion, but next lap they will have DRS, and further back, it's hard to focus with the timing targets. We've got Jordan and Don and Dari, that is, going at it towards turn 4. They were 3 abreast last lap. It's 2 this time going side by side, and it's Dari round the outside of Don. Dari's just wide a little bit, doesn't get the cleaner exit, and that gives Jordan a chance to come back at him towards turn 6. And it's all going on in the midfield. Very messy down there, but out in front, the top 4 are really starting to stretch their legs. They're spread pretty much evenly by about 7/10 of a second to a second. And I think they've already dropped Don out of DRS. I'd love to actually see what the real gaps are, but thanks to Codemasters, we can't.
Yeah, I saw also on lap 1, Polito Alex had made his way up to 7th place, and then he got passed by 2 cars in turn 4, which is now just dropping him back down the field. He's staying in 9th for now, but he's already lost touch to the guys ahead of him.
And here we have got, I think we're going to see our first DRS overtake. Here comes Dari. He breezes past Don towards turn 2. Don's got no defence, I think, towards turn 3. He can try and hang out around the outside, but he's just going to get run up against that yellow sausage curb, and he has to back out behind him. Lars and Jordan, and a big squirm for Don as he gets on the power, trying to get back at Dari, and that's cost him a little bit. He's dropped really far back from, I think that's the ART, as you can see. And Jordan now pushing Lars into turn 4. And he nearly did Lars a favour there, because Lars, without that little push, I don't think he would have got up alongside Don, and now Don's forced to take the inside line through 6. That's going to really slow him down, but Lars has to back out a little bit, and it's as you were as they come through 7 now. Don doesn't look too happy, does he, in these early stages? He's dropped behind Darry and nearly lost another place there. I think he'll probably lose out to Lars on the next lap.
Did we miss something that might have happened to Rocky Raccoon? Because I don't remember him being this far back from Cali.
He must have had a little mistake or something, or that, or he's got no confidence on the Supersofts. Because you're right, he's very far back, and I'd love to be on board with Rocky Raccoon, but the game isn't showing me him. So where we are, we got Tim. Well, he's not all over the back of him, but I think he's in a position as Eisen picks up our first penalty of the race to maybe have a little look into turn 4.
Lars.
The gap 3/10 per second, and further back, you're right, Lars and Don side by side into 3. Don comes out just on top, but he's going to have a slow exit off that corner. They've both got DRS. It's a little DRS train behind to Tim. And not to Tim, sorry, it's behind Darry. I'm getting very confused as we look forward to Tim. Can't get past Rocky on this occasion. There comes Lars up the inside of Don. The pole man, is he going to go back at it in towards 6? Or is he going to back out? I think Don's going to go for it, is he? The D4 champ from season 4. He's really hanging this one out. If he can hold on to this position, that is fabulous driving. And he does. He barges Lars out of the way. No holes barred, but absolutely fair. And that's going to give Jordan even now a look. Jordan pulls really far to the right hand side of the track. Has he got the inside on Lars? No, he has to back out of it. And I wonder, is Jordan coming into the pits already? Early stop for Jordan.
Yeah, that's incredibly early. Like, already into the pit on the end of lap 4. It's
sorry, here comes Lars.
Yeah. Oh.
And,
Lars down the inside of Don. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, and Don gets a big sprung of oversteer. Now Cali trying to go around the outside of Doc, isn't quite able to take around the outside, gets pushed wide, but it's still clean racing. Now gets the DRS and the slipstream, trying to get past Doc. Is he going to look towards the inside? No, outside. Trying to go around the outside. Does he brake later than Doc? Not quite. Tries to switch back, doesn't quite get the traction, and he has to stay behind for now.
It was a very tidy switch back from Cali. I thought he was going to carry a little bit more speed, maybe force Doc to take a tighter line through 6, but it wasn't on this occasion. And I'm surprised he thought as well about trying the going around the outside into turn 3. Never in a month of Sundays would I thought Doc in a championship battle would ever leave Cali space to go around the outside of turn 3. But stranger things have happened. So I mean, Cali's main rival right now is to Tim, isn't it? 5 points behind in the championship, so as long as Cali's ahead of Tim, does he need to take a risk fighting VTI Doc? Because Jav and ST5 exchange places. Eisen comes into the pits, he's our second stopper. And keep an eye on Jordan's pace as well, and as Eisen's into the pits. But Cali's going to have another go here, is he? He's 4/10 per second back. He'll close up nicely in the braking zone of 3. What he needs now is a really clean exit. Keep it nice and straight. Get on the power early, but don't spin the wheels. And let the car roll down towards 4. Drink in that slipstream. Use the DRS, but I don't think he's close enough. Again, perhaps last lap was his best chance, at least for this part of the race. And maybe instead he'll look towards the pit stop to see if something can happen. None of the leaders have come in. Jordan's the highest man up that has pitted. He's 21 seconds now behind Jav, who is the last of the drivers who are yet to pit. Oh, sorry, Ibo's further back as well. So I wonder if Cali's decided he can't get past Doc on track. He's going to try something in the stops. Doc staying out, Cali staying out. No one going for this undercut. Nor is... What have you seen there?
Cali's in.
Oh, Cali is in. That was a very late move. He should have committed much earlier to the inside white line, because it can be dangerous if you cross over when you do. And Rocky Raccoon's in as well, Barry's in as well, and now both these guys need a lap of their lives if they're going to lead this race.
Yeah, it's. I don't think the steward has said anything about the pit entry, so this is fine, of course. But it's never nice to be the car behind, just seeing someone dart into the pits when you're not expecting it.
Well, I was just on board with VTI Doc through turn 3. He went a little bit wide. Doesn't look like it's the cleanest lap so far. Those super softs will be very, very second hand, and the dim is not too far behind him, so he can't afford any mistakes, not just for Cali's sake, but for Dari's sake, Rocky Raccoon's sake, and Londa Tim behind him as well. We'll have a look at the gap. It's 26.2, 26.4 seconds. It's fluctuating a lot through the corners. Cali's actually bringing it down. Now he's taken a couple of tenths in just turn 3 alone in the traction zone. Cali took 2 tenths out of VTI Doc. He has to pit. He's costing himself so much time here. Is he coming in? Is he staying out? He pulls in, but it's very late. I don't think that was the cleanest pit entry. That would have cost him a little bit of time. But we'll see. The gap was 26 seconds when he came in. So Cali did take 3 or 4 tenths, but is it enough? Speeding penalty for Tim. Lars in as well. Do you think we're going to see the places shuffle around here?
No, absolutely. VTI Dog was very cautious on the pit entry and definitely lost time compared to Cali, who really didn't hold back whilst entering the pits. I think Cali also got DRS on the second straight, which I don't fully get, as he was close to absolutely no one, but it would have helped him on making the undercut work. And they're side by side, coming up towards turn 2 and turn 3, side by side here, no DRS for either of them. Then VTI Doc has the inside, but doesn't have the same straight line speed. Still dives towards the inside. Cali holds it around the outside, gets forced onto the curb. It's still there though, but VTI Doc has the DRS, has the inside, and that should be position kept for now.
That was Cali's big chance, wasn't it? But he's going for it. He's going for it down the outside. I didn't think he'd quite have the legs in braking to get ahead, and he didn't. He had to back out, but at least he's making himself known to VTI Doc here, isn't he? We're riding on board from the back of the Irishman's Prima, and you can just see Cali hounding him, trying to take interesting and extravagant lines through the corners to try and force some kind of error, force him to think twice about where his apex is going to be. And yeah, I thought Cali would have had that. He would have more confidence on those fresh tyres coming into 3. I thought he would have just sent it on the brakes and whatever Doc tried to do, but Doc was in fact the brave one on the brakes. He went really deep but claimed the corner well. Cali, DRS back open, and he's going to be just a couple of tenths behind as he comes out of turn 1, and he's got a really nice exit there, doesn't fall back in the dirty air. And has Doc got anything he can defend with now? As here comes Cali, he's got the slipstream. Doc dodges right, dodges left, he has to take the inside line very tight. Where's Cali? He's going to try cut back, but Doc places that car perfectly, doesn't give Cali any room to come back underneath him, to straighten that car any earlier than he possibly can. And very nicely done from Doc. Cali's going to send it deep down the outside, but Doc is really brave on the brakes here. No matter how deep Cali goes, Doc just says, I will go a metre later, and as long as he can make the corner, he's got the position covered. Cali, I thought he was close enough. He was only 2-3 tenths behind coming out of turn 1, but evidently he needs to be right nose to tail to that Prima to have any chance at overtaking into 3, because Doc is just so brave on those brakes. Penalty for Dari, currently runs a net 5th place behind Tim.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. VTI Doc has got to give me some lessons on car placement, because he's placing his car exactly where he needs to, every single corner that he needs to defend from Cali, and it's just allowing him to keep that position. Cali can't seem to find any way past him for now, and yeah, this is all allowing Rocky Raccoon behind to catch up, and he's now within DRS as he makes a mistake there.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is really bringing Rocky Raccoon into play for this race, because Austria, as you can see from the timing tower, is a very easy track to pick up penalties. We're not even at half distance yet, where the leaders are on track, and yet we've got 7 drivers on penalties of some description. So I wouldn't make that 8 drivers. Alex gets one for ignoring a yellow flag. I'm sure he'll get that removed from the stewards. But yeah, there's bound to be warnings or penalties that will probably come into it amongst these 3. So the fact that Rocky Raccoon is able to get so close is massive for him and his championship charge, because he's very much in play in this race. It may seem like it's Cali versus Doc on track, as I really am talking up the penalties. They are flying in on this lap. But yeah, Cali's very much in... Rocky Raccoon's very much in the range here of or his championship rivals. Big moment for Doc there out of turn 1. And I'll tell you what, it's really starting to cloud over here. I wonder, could we see the some rain pays a visit here in Spielberg Hills? I should hope so. But,
Larry, around the outside of their team, very late on the brakes, doesn't get the best exit there, and probably has to slot in behind him for now. But yeah, I'm wondering whether that is why Jordan pit that early, because he was gambling on the rain to come before the end of the race.
I'm not too sure, I'll confess, on how long the tyres will go. I don't race F2 myself anymore, but it did seem a very early stop at the time, and if there is rain coming, excuse me, that would explain why he pit so early. Penalty for Fuckstorm, down in 15th place right now. There was another one, I missed who it was for, but they are really flying in. I said it was 7 drivers who had penalties. It's now 10 of them.
Oh my god.
Some are 5-second penalties for various reasons, but and in fact I think Darius can have another go at Tim here. He's very close to the back. He takes a wider line into the braking zone of 1. Looks much more like he's using all of the track, and you taking the wide line in will give you the ability to straighten the car early, get more speed on exit. And here we go. Here he pulls to the right side of the Charus, and he's inside of Tim, and Tim just has to back out of that one and try and find another day. And a big moment there for Dari and Tim straight through, and here comes Lars as well. And there's nothing Dari could do. He lost all the speed with that error, and he looked like he had the position wrapped up, and that was very, very costly for the Charus. Down 2 places after having gained 1.
Yeah, it's typical for that hairpin. It's honestly, at least from what I can remember, the trickiest traction zone on the entire calendar in F2 or F1. It's absolutely impossible to get right. As we have a yellow flag, is that's for Steve 5? ST. I'm just not even going to try. Must have spun out of the hairpin, which I said earlier. It's just an incredibly tricky traction zone. It's honestly the worst on the game, without a doubt.
Oh, when we've got Lars and Tim switching places into turn 1. Lars got past, but was very slow off the corner, and here comes Lon Tim back up the inside. I think Lars actually has got DRS, and Dari is going to try to go down the inside of both of them, is he? Here he comes. He brakes very late. He gets Tim. Doesn't fancy taking Lars this time. He'll wait, I think, for turn 4, but Lars got a super exit there out of turn 3, and there's nothing Dari can do on this lap. And Tim, fortunate for him, will just have to keep a watching brief as they pound round towards turn 4. And up at the front, Callie still within a second of Doc, but making no impression on the net race leader. I say net race leader. If there's rain coming, it could be Dark that's our net race leader. We don't know. No one's told us if any rain is due. And, well, this is going to be a very interesting affair. If it does go to wets, as Fuckstorm passes ST5, and Jav comes into pits, Alex comes into pits, so clearly there's either no rain coming or those tyres have had enough, because Alex and Jav are in. But yes, so I hope there is some rain. It would make it very interesting to see VTI Doc have to hunt down ISRL Dark, because Dark has an 11-second lead. He's in a very good position if he does have to pit right now. So it's finally poised, and Callie is about as close as he's been since the pit stop, isn't he? 3/10 of a second coming in towards turn 3.
Yeah, he's got an absolutely fantastic exit there now in the slipstream of VTI Doc, trying to go towards the outside. Brakes very late again. Is he going to hold it? Not quite. Oh, he's trying it, but VTI Doc has the car placed in exactly the right position and had a great exit out of turn 4, and that's the position kept for now.
This is masterful defending from VTI Dog. You saw into turn 4, he just led the car a little deeper into the corner, just go a little bit straighter, take a later apex, turn the car and right, just force your rival to take a compromise line without forcing them off the track. And there's nothing they can do in that case. I mean, it's what Rosberg tried to do to Hamilton at the last lap of 2016, just run all the way to the edge of the track before he decided to turn in. It was costly for him then, but Doc is playing that strategy to perfection, and I tell you what as well, every lap Dark pits without fail whenever Callie comes in for an overtake, he's being shown the outside of the track by Doc. Doc is not allowing him to try and force his way up the inside, and Callie just can't get through that way. He needs to try something. He needs to, again, he's looking down the outside. He needs to try and trick Doc into showing him the inside line, because the outside isn't working. Because when he does go down there, Doc is able to just cover him off so well, and Callie is trying to look for the inside line that time. He's not close enough to force Doc to open it up, and again, looks to the outside. Doc just parks the car on the apex, turns in nice and late. Callie cannot do anything.
Yeah, I'm getting deja vu from nearly every single lap. It's the exact same situation. The only thing that Callie can do right now is try a Ricciardo at Monza 2014. Just fake going towards the outside and then switch back whilst in the braking zone towards the inside. Because that's the only way I can see Callie getting up the inside and past Doc.
I think you're right, because the outside isn't working. He needs to try that inside line. Doc is getting superb exits out of every traction zone that Callie isn't. He's not able to make the overtake before the braking zone, which we have seen with some of the DRS overtakes here. So it's a problem for Callie that, like in this situation here, he's 3/10 behind coming to the corner. He's probably close enough that he could have a very late send, but he needs to be closer to Doc earlier in the straight so that the move is done before the braking zone. I think braking zones in that 1v1, Doc's always going to come out on top.
Yeah, and I was just on board with Jav, made a very nice move down the inside of turn 1. Now got Polito Alex on the back of him, but Jav has the DRS to defend for now. Polito Alex has to go around the outside, brakes very, very late compared to Jav. Jav holds the inside, Polito Alex gets a better exit, has the DRS. Now tucking into the slipstream, trying to look towards the outside or inside. Jav doesn't defend it that much. Goes towards the inside. Jav very, very late on the brakes. No way is he making that corner. He actually has. That's insane.
That was mega driving from Jav. Mega defending. And again, like into turn 3, that outside move, it's not working for drivers. You've got to get it down the inside.
Yeah, and I've just noticed, by the way, the tough 3 drivers all have 2 warnings.
That is just how you like it, isn't it? But Rocky Raccoon's out of his teammate's penalty window now. He's more than 3 seconds off the lead. He needs to up his pace, or he needs Callie to do him a favour and slow Doc down. And you're right, Darry gets past Lars, but Lars goes very late on the brakes. He has the inside. He'll try and show Darry that outside curb, and Darry has a little squirm of oversteer on the exit, but again, costly, very costly for Darry, because he thought he'd got the move done on Lars, but again, he's lost 2 places in exchange for the one he'd got earlier on. He's given that back, and then some. There must be absolute deja vu with him. Alex and Jav going at it again into turn 3. Jav's past Alex, but Alex, neither of them have DRS. Oh, that's very interesting. They must have been near identical at the timing point, because neither of them having DRS towards turn 4. Jav doesn't have to go quite as late as he did last time, but he goes late on the brakes nonetheless. So we've also got another battle we've not really spoken about, which is Heated versus Don for P8, and that P8 is reverse sprint race pole, I should say. So it's an important move there if someone could get that done. Don does have 1 penalty second less than Heated, so he's just got to stay within DRS, and Don will have sprint race pole, and he will dump Heated into 9th on the grid.
That's actually impressive. Doc went very deep into turn 3, but still managed to get a really good exit, and I don't think Callie will be able to challenge him on this straight.
All right, we've got Tim coming up. Lars on the DRS. Lars defends the inside, but I think Tim's ahead going into the braking zone. Lars can go very deep, he shows Tim the AstroTurf, but I think he's able to keep just enough speed, the German Carlin driver, to hang it out, but and he has to be careful here, because Darry's trying to look down his outside into turn 6. That is bold from very bold from Darry and the Charoux there, and Tim was slow off 7 as well. This is a mighty squabble we're seeing, and Tim's going to be forced to take an inside line. He can't come across the apex. If he does, he's going to pinch Darry right up against the curb, and he's just about hangs on, but these three are going at it, hammer and tongue, all race long. Callie, 4/10 of a second behind Doc, coming to turn 1. 2 laps to go. Can Callie make a move for the lead? Rocky Raccoon's out of the picture. He's 4 seconds off this scrap now. And it's about these two for the lead. I mean, Callie won't complain. Londa Tim's now down in 5th place. I think he's a net 7th with penalties. So I think Callie would happily take P2 right now, even if it is behind VTI Doc. He's got a good run towards 4, but not close enough. We'll look back to Lars and Tim. The battle for 4 raging on here. Tim goes to the inside line. Lars, I'm surprised he showed it to him. But feels like whichever way the attacking driver goes, the defending driver has enough in hand. He can just go the other way and claim the place. Tim backs out into 6, and Lars holds on to P4. I'm loving this scrap, you know.
Yeah, this scrap is absolutely fantastic. A really clean driving from all 3 of them. But now XL Don is right on, on the verge of losing out on that P8. That P8 that is so important for the sprint race. He's so close to missing out on DRS and probably that reverse sprint fall with it.
Yeah, the gap. It was 1 second and 1 millisecond at one point. It's now a second. Has Don got DRS? I don't think. He did just about going down the main straight, but it's the last lap of the race. We'll switch back to Callie. Is he close enough? Or the game wants to show me Lars instead, so we'll look at that. And here comes Tim down the outside. He goes very late, very deep, but makes the corner nicely. He'll tuck back into Lars' slipstream, and we'll see as they barrel down towards turn 4 who's bolder on the brakes, and it looks like it's going to be Lars. He goes so deep into 4, makes the corner nicely, tucks it under round the curb. They're going to be side by side on the run towards 6 through the kink of 5, and Lars comes out on top again. But is there going to be another opportunity for Tim? Can he send it into turn 8? It's not a long braking zone, or turn 9, sorry, but has he got anything left to do this? I don't think he's close enough. And it's going to be VTI Doc who takes the feature race victory from Callie by a second. Rocky Raccoon's going to come home 3rd. Excellent race for Callie in the championship, and it is Lars that's on top. He's going to take 4th place. Tim 5th, Darry 6th. Darry takes 5th by virtue of 1 less penalty second. It's Jordan 6th. And Heated did hold on to sprint race pole by 115 milliseconds from Don. Dark finishes 10th. And wait for Eisen, Alex, Jav to cross the line. Fuckstorm, ST5 and Ibo all were lapped in that race. But that was absolutely breathless action, wasn't it? From lights to flag. I apologise if we missed any of it, but that was superb racing, wasn't it? Particularly that Lars, Darry, Lon battle. That was an absolute delight.
Yeah, definitely. It's also Doc really showing a defensive masterclass there out on track.
Oh, absolutely.
Callie could not find a way through, no matter what he tried. Actually, he only tried the one thing because Doc didn't let him do anything else. Yeah, just incredibly impressive from him. And the Rocky Raccoon, I've got to say, he kind of disappointed me. Looking at his quality pace, I thought his race pace would be right up there as well, but he did not have anything to fight the top 2.
I don't want to be unkind on him, but as you say, that was a disappointing race. I mean, we have a look at his fastest lap of 15.6. That was 3.5 tenths slower than his teammate and 2.5 tenths slower than Callie. So, yeah, Rocky Raccoon not really on the pace, and Lars and Darry all did fast laps. And of course, there is the concession to make that Rocky had no DRS at any point really in that race, so that would have hampered his lap times a fair bit compared to Callie, Darry, Lars, Tim, and such. Very strong pace from Heated as well. But we'll run through the result again for you. It's VTI Doc who wins from pole. Callie 2nd, Rocky Raccoon 3rd, Lars is 4th, Darry is 5th, Ariel Jordan is 6th, Londa Tim is 7th, Heated is 8th, takes sprint race pole, XL Don is 9th, ISRL Dark is 10th, Plitzy Alex is 11th, ISRL Eisen is 12th, Jav is 13th, he who will not be named is 14th, ST5 is 15th, and Ibo is 16th.
Uh, I just know some admin is going to watch the stream back.
Well,
Just gonna tell us off.
I believe Larkin is watching. He commended Lars, Darry, and Tim on their battle. I'm sure. I think he's jeffing Callie though, so he's likely watching on mute. But if he's with us, hello Larkin. Congratulations on the D2 title. Commiserations to the person who came second. No one ever remembers them, but we only ever remember the champions, don't we? We always forget who finishes in second in these battles. To be honest, I mean I watched, but I can't remember who came second in D2. It's already lost from my memory. I just remember that I came fourth and Larkin won. But
cheers, I appreciate it. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Who are you
already.
again? I've completely forgotten who you are.
That's fine. It's just pain.
Pain indeed. Spain without the S, but we're not in Spain. We're in Austria, and enough of kicking a man while he's down. We have a sprint race ahead of us, and it is going to be heated LH. The Maltese man is on pole in the high tech, and he has Londa Tim alongside him on the left of your screen there as they pull away for the formation lap. Ariel Jordan is third, finished sixth last race, so your prediction didn't fare too well, did it? Luckily for me, I didn't make one, so I don't have to live with it being incorrect. Darry is fourth on the grid, as you can see. Lars is fifth. Rocky Raccoon is sixth. Callie 70 Doc is eighth. And of course, if you don't know the rules of F2, why? But if you don't, the top 8 results from the feature race are reversed for the sprint. So that means the winner starts 8th, and 8th starts on pole. And the rest of them will start as they finish. So Dom 9th, Dark 10th, Alex 11th, Eisen 12th, Jav 13th, ST5 15th, and Sir Ibo is in 16th. Let's have a look if Ibo is on the Super Softs, and he is. Ibo, you absolute legend. We love you. Starting on the Super Softs down in P16. Given they only last like 7 or 8 laps, it will be a miracle if he doesn't puncture them. But I'm excited to see the lad try. Credit where it's due. No rain, of course, as you can see as well, which I'm slightly disappointed about. I thought we'd have perhaps a wet, dry race. Wet all the way through can be a bit of a mare to commentate on and to watch. Just ask James Head in V8 Field from Division 1 Netherlands. But I'm sure they gave us a cracking dry race last time out anyway, so I'm sure we'll get more of the same with Heated and Tim on the front row. This is Tim's chance. If he lost some points to Callie last time around, this is his chance, starting 5 places ahead of him, to get some back. And I think his penalty will get removed. That actually caused him to finish 7th, because it was for ignoring yellow flags. And usually, if if the game gives you that kind of penalty, it's usually not fairly. So, your predictions, Matt? Is there anyone you're fancying this time?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Lars to get the win, Callie second, and Doc third.
Well, we'll see very shortly if you're right, because we have 4 lights ahead of us. Make that 5. It's Heated on your right, Tim on your left, and we are underway for the second time in Austria. Another good start from our pole sitter, but he got so much wheel spin into second gear, and Tim straight away into the lead of the race by turn 1. Heated goes very deep as well, and he's speared off track, and he's got damage, and he's in the wall out of turn 1. It's Tim, Jordan, Lars is up to 3rd, Rocky Raccoon is 4th. And Darry as well, and we've got Lars and Rocky Raccoon going side by side into turn 3. Jordan now takes the lead from the Tim in the braking zone, but Tim got a mega exit, didn't he? I don't think Jordan got a good one either. That was a huge exit from Tim. He's back into the lead. Jordan had a poor exit, and that's put him right into the clutches of Lars and Rocky Raccoon, who are going side by side into 4. Callie's getting boxed down there. I thought he nearly touched the grass, and that thanks to VTI Doc, and that's given Alex the incentive to nip through into P6. Callie's getting him back though, and Lars has run very wide through turn 6 and lost out to Rocky Raccoon. But we're on board with VTI Doc now in the front of the pack, and you can see just ahead and behind, he's in a little bit of no man's land by himself, and he's Lars having a look at Rocky Raccoon in turn 9. That's a bold move if he goes for it. Not on this occasion, but I wouldn't put it past. Last time the overtakes was seen from him this season, I think back to him and Maverick at Abu Dhabi. That was a cracking battle. But Across the line onto lap 2, it is the Tim who leads from Jordan, from Lars, who pulls out into Rocky Raccoon into turn 1, doesn't make the move stick, but Lars is not hanging about, is he? He wants this podium. He's clearly heard your prediction. I think he does want to let you down, and he goes deep into 3, but Rocky Raccoon does the same, and they hold station further back. We've got some side-by-side action between Ice Roll Dark and Jav out of turn 3. They're going to run side-by-side all the way down to 4. Dark kicking up some dirt there, scrub off a little bit of speed in Jav, and they bump wheels towards 4, and we're watching back from XL Don. Jav goes deep, almost as deep as he did in the feature race, but he's making it work, but not this time because Dark is ahead. Dark's in P11. And have we got any battles further ahead? No, I think we can take a breath, because I think just about they have now settled down.
Yeah, I just want to go back to lap 1. That exit that third Tim got, that was just like, I know you can gain maybe a 10-50 out of a good exit compared to a bad exit, but it's also it just made it seem as if Jordan didn't even touch the throttle pedal for about a second. That was insane.
I think Jordan had a poor exit as well, which made it look slightly better, because we saw that he slipped right into the clutches of Rocky Raccoon and Lars as he's heading down towards 4. So I think Jordan's exit made it look slightly better, but you're still right. It was a mega exit, and Heated making slow progress back up the field. He passes ST5. Dark and Jav at it again, but we're on board with the Jordan Rocky Raccoon battle for P2. Jordan's got DRS, but Raccoon's got a much stronger slipstream. He pulls out to the right hand side of the track, goes very deep. Jordan leaves him the space to make the move stick, pulls out, and he's going to try tuck back towards for turn 6. He'll hang out around the outside, will he? Brave man to try and pull an overtake on the outside there, but this is given to Tim all the incentive he needs to get away. And look at that, Lars trying to... That's an opportunistic move ever I've seen it, into turn 7 to get past Jordan. And these guys are really not helping themselves here. They're stepping on each other's tails, and it's giving Tim the opportunity and the chance to seal up this win by running away. But they are all still in DRS. It's 7/10 of a second at the end of lap 3. So we've got a tasty battle for the win here, but they can't afford to fight each other too much, because, as I said, it's going to force them to slip away if they do fight too hard.
I've just been scrolling a bit through the field, and I was wondering, as Doc goes down the inside of Lars, he is threatening too, but doesn't quite make the move stick yet. I was looking through the field, and something I've noticed: Callie isn't up there with the top guy, but he has the race pace too normally. He has end plate damage on the right hand side of his wing, which is definitely hampering this race. Him this race.
Absolutely right. That's going to be very costly for him. First penalty for Dark, but yeah, this could have been a 6-7 way fight for the victory with as it's looking right now. But Callie is just in damage limitation mode to just get some decent points, and with Tim leading, all the advantage he'd got from the feature race might just be wiped out. Of course, you get more points for the feature, but still, it's going to be a very costly evening this for Callie, at least for this race. If he can't, if there's not a safety car or something that gives, or even rain that would give him the chance to switch tyres and maybe change his front wing. But up ahead, there's just 0.2 of a second between Tim and Rocky Raccoon, 0.2 of a second between Rocky Raccoon and Jordan, 0.3 of a second between Jordan and Lars. This is the fight for the win we want, and here comes Raccoon inside of turn 2. He's got the move done by the braking zone of 3. It looks like Tim fights it back. He holds it out the inside, it rides the curb too much, costs him a little bit on the exit. I think it gives Rocky Raccoon a little bit of breathing space there, and Jordan is not far behind, is he? If that had been any more, a tenth or two more, I think that could have been Jordan up into second. Raccoon that goes deep though into turn 4, and he gets he has a huge moment on traction as Rocky Raccoon. Tim's back through, Jordan's back through, I think. Is that... Jordan, I think he should have got his elbows out a bit more and tried to hang that out, because the place looked like it was virtually his, and then he gave Raccoon, I think, too much. It was too nice to him, gave him too much space, too much time to pick where he wanted to put his car. And now Lars, we're still looking back from Tim, but Lars, what are you doing, man? That is not an overtaking place. This is a bonkers battle. If the one from the feature race was crazy, this is another level because it's a 5-way scrap for the win. And I'll have a look at the gap from the leader. Yeah, we've got the top 5 at the end of the lap covered by 1.0 seconds. This is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, it's just incredible to see such close racing, and apart from Lars's maybe a bit question of dive bomb, I've seen really good driving so far. Just everyone's kept it clean. Oh, Jordan, what was that exit? He's just not moving. Like my guy froze.
We've got a yellow flag. Jav is round out of turn 3. He's had a big spin there, but for the lead, yeah, that mistake for Jordan. It's got, I think, Rocky Raccoon's almost out of DRS range of him, but you know, this is surprising me, this battle. I mean, I'm loving it, but I'm surprised because I thought Tim would have more pace than these guys, but at the moment, all of them seem quicker, and you can see that Rocky Raccoon, he's close enough to go for this into turn 9. It's a 6-gear corner in a Formula 1 car, and the lag made me think they were going to spear into each other there. But that was cracking stuff from Rocky Raccoon, but he went deep in the last corner. Tim slips back through, and as you were. Penalty for Fuckstorm. A few coming in at the back of the field. We've got 4 now, but none in our leading quintet, which is absolutely what you love. And Rocky Raccoon lagged, I think that was, into the back of Tim. Got caught up against the back, wing damage, spun round, and he is out of this battle for the win. I think that is his championship fight over. He needed to win this race. And now Lars is up against it with VTI Dog. Dog is past Lars into turn 3. Beautiful helicopter shot there. We saw Lars is forced wide, and now him and Jordan are side by side towards 4. Jordan cuts across him, chops over nicely, but Lars just goes back down the inside. He goes very deep though. Has Jordan got enough overspeed to come back at him around the outside of turn 6? They're side by side. Lars is squeezing him, sorry. But I think Lars has got this one in the bag. Lars has got this one in the bag for another lap, I think. There's too high speed now for a move there, although tell that to Rocky Raccoon because he got past Tim there into turn 9 on the last lap.
Yeah, Rocky Raccoon, it's just, I think his connection is really cost him there, as Lars was able to go inside of him, but probably on Rocky Raccoon's screen he just got hit up the rear and just couldn't do anything.
I think we're going to see a change of hands to the lead this lap because Doc, who won so brilliantly last time out, is actually, I think, on course for the double win. The double win here, because it doesn't happen very often. Certainly it's never happened in real life Formula 2, but he's back in the lead now because he's up the inside of Tim into turn 3. He parks the car on the apex, runs the outside, claims the racing line. And Tim's got enough to fight back at him. Has he got DRS? No, it's Doc that's got DRS towards turn 4. He's got the lead covered there. And well, the Irishman in the Prima, he's on course for a double win here in Spielberg, in Styria. And that is huge for him if he wants to stay in this championship fight. Because Callie is some margin up the road. I think going into this race, going into this event, what was the gap? It was 27 points between Doc and Callie. So this is huge for Doc. If he can outscore Callie at both races, especially now with Callie having been damaged down in 5th, we have still got a championship battle on our hands. And Tim is still outscoring Callie by a fair margin as well. We could have a 3-way title fight going into the last race. I say that, but here's Lars looking into turn 1. Tim had DRS as well, but when has that ever stopped Lars from going for an overtake? And he has a huge moment out of 1. And is that going to put Jordan on his tail? I think it is. Let's ride on board with Jordan. We've got someone down. It's Alex. Is spun out of turn 1. We'll come back to him because we've got this battle evolving between Jordan and Lars for the final podium place. Neither has a penalty. Oh, sorry. Lars does have a penalty. It's Tim ahead of him who doesn't. So Jordan might yet get his podium that you predicted for him, Matt, because he is in a net 3rd right now.
Yeah, it's interesting to see though. Jordan, he's pretty solid around the rest of the track, but that hairpin, he keeps losing like 2 or 3 tenths on just the traction alone. I can just tell he's really not comfortable with the like understeering and oversteering nature of this car, because if you just slightly overstep the boundary in that corner, you're spinning, and I think he's trying to avoid that, but was trying to avoid that. He's keeping it really safe, playing it really safe. Oh, safety car, sorry.
We have got a safety car, and I'll tell you who that is spared. It is XL Cali, because I was just about to jump in after you finished talking and say that we have got a Cali train, because Dark was climbing over the back of that UNI round turn 6 and 7. He had about 4 cars within a second of him. Dark, Eisen, the 2 Campos guys, and then Don and Heated. So it's going to spare him, I think. This could save Cali's race and, crucially, save him his championship, because otherwise he was at risk of losing 4 or 5 places. Was our standings leader, our points leader, and this safety car is going to stay out for a couple of laps. I mean, it's missed the leaders. They're going to have to go around another again before the train forms up. So it's only going to give Dark, Eisen, Don, Heated a lap to get past Cali. Had the safety car not come out, I think Cali could have ended this race in 9th place. But the safety car has spared him a ton here. He'll be thanking his lucky stars for whoever caused that, or whatever caused that. That could be crucial in the championship, because every point matters with VTI Doc leading this race.
Yeah, Cali, he's actually, he's now within a shot of getting P4, which, with that wing damage, is incredible. He just needs to stay within 3 seconds of Lars, and the way it is right now, with none of them catching up to the safety car yet, and there only being 4 laps left, I think he could get P4 and really limit that damage.
Well, he'll have 2 laps on him. We'll expect the safety car to come in at the end of lap 12 to guarantee 2 laps of racing, and it will form up in that time. Not perhaps the whole train. We might, ST5 and Ibo might not catch up, but we will get 2 laps of green flag action, so that's 2 laps for Cali to stay within 3 seconds of Lars. He's going to lose a second, say, just from field spread initially, so he's got a lap within a second of Lars in these last 2 laps to get that 4th place, and in the process he's got a knot. If he ends up battling Dark, I think he can kiss goodbye to 4th place, because that wing damage is considerable. But we'll see. I mean, I'm not as optimistic as you that Cali can get Lars, but because I think, you know, Dark's going to be all over the back of him by virtue of the safety car restart. So if Cali struggles off the last corner with that wing damage, I think Dark could be ahead by turn 3, and if he loses 1 place, he's not going to stay within range of Lars. But you never know. Safety car restarts at the end of sprint races, or the end of any race, never go well. But and Lars actually hit Londa Tim there, coming round turn 9, and a penalty for Londa Tim. He's not going to get anything for that. He'll get removed, although he had dropped a long way back from Lars. Not Lars, the PTI Doc. So maybe the steward, if that gets reported, might think, no, you were going too slowly. We're not going to remove that, but we'll see. At least in terms of the absolute result on the night, it's going to send Tim down some distance. But did Lars get one as well? I only saw the pop-up for Tim.
No, he did not. Only Tim got.
He did. He's on 8 seconds of penalties. He's on 8 seconds, yeah. So, well, Cali could end up finishing 3rd on the night then here, because I don't think he's not going to lose 8 seconds to Lars in 2 laps. Touch wood. As a penalty between him and Alex, you know, the guy whose name I've said far too much. Him and Alex have crashed under the safety car. 5-second penalty, just for you know who, though, Lord Voldemort himself. Safety car is in this lap. VTI Doc will back them right up, and he's doing so already before the final sector. So when are you going to go here then, Matt? Would you go before the last 2 corners, out of the last 2 corners, on the pit straight before the line? Where would you drop the accelerator and bolt?
It depends on how much confidence you have in the rest of the grid, because I'd personally, if in real life, if I was in this situation, I'd go right up on the start-finish straight, and then right before the line go. But Doc has gone already. That's incredibly early for him. The safety car It's barely even entered the pit lane yet, and Doc's already gone. And I think he's kind of gotten away with it, but Dirtim reacted very well. But now Doc is really showing his race pace now that he's had last race and this race, and he's just pulling away now.
Callie crucially got a really tidy exit off the last corner. He didn't give Dark the chance to get onto the back of him, and he's got a 0.3 of a second gap coming out of turn 1. No DRS, it's just going to be slipstream for these last 2 laps, which is huge for the UNI driver. He needs to stay in range. ST5, I think that is, or no, sorry, that's Rocky Raccoon, who's round out of turn 1, but there'll be no safety car now because we're into the last 2 laps of this race. It's VTI Doc who leads from Tim and Lars. Both have penalties. The 5 seconds likely to get removed, so it's Jordan and Callie at the moment who are in a net second and third, the 2 virtuosi drivers. But Doc has this one, I think you'd say, wrapped up. Although Tim looks quicker. I thought Tim had no race pace here because he was slower at the start when he was leading fares with that huge train behind him. But Doc's not run away with it, has he? He's kept it close before the safety car and now on the first racing lap. London Tim very much in range of that Prima if he makes a mistake on these last 10 corners.
Oh my god, just going on board with Callie, he is understeering all over the place. It's horrible to see.
Well, Dark, I think, is going to have a look at him perhaps. Is he into turn 3? He pulls out, just spot his braking zone for 1. There's no move going there, but you can see that Callie's understeering a little bit. He didn't really hook up this apex well, and now it's all about slipstream here. It's all about bravery on the brakes. There's no DRS for either of these guys. Callie moves to the middle of the track. Dark had to lift off before the braking zone of 3, and that cost him any chance of overtake. Callie got a good exit. Dark a little bit flustered there. Rocky Raccoon retires in the pit lane, and Callie now, I think that was Dark's last opportunity. Callie has got 5th place here, and that is huge for his championship. That is huge. That cannot be understated how big those positions are for him. I mean, I know Dark's got penalties, but it could easily spin around in this situation. Penalty for Dark. Has Jordan just won this race? Has Tim just won this race?
That's incredibly surprising. I'm surprised Doc took that much risk on the last lap, knowing that he had 2 warnings.
This has been the lap of dreams for XL Callie, and it's going to end the race because here comes Doc across the line. He is a double race winner on track, but he's not going to take it because it's going to be Jordan missed out by 0.2 of a second. Doc just keeps the win, but if Tim gets his penalty removed, that'll be Tim that gets the win. I wouldn't dare comment on that. It's up to Tim if he reports it, but as it is, at the end of a breathless sprint race, fantastic 14 laps, it's Doc who wins on track and on penalties just from Jordan and XL Callie. Although that will change if Londa Tim gets that pen removed. He will take the win, will the Carlin man, if he reports it. And if he does, puts himself right back on Callie's tail after a disappointing feature race for the German. But credit where it's due to Doc. He only made 1 mistake today. It could turn out to be a very costly one. But twice a winner on track, feature and sprint. He may hold it, he may not, but even if he doesn't, first and second, not too shabby. And he was 27 points behind Callie. That gap has been significantly slashed as we go into Belgium. So let's run through the result then. Doc wins from 8th on the grid after that last lap penalty. Jordan is second, misses out on the Prima Man by 0.2 of a second, less than in fact. Callie did a fantastic job in damage limitation. He finishes 3rd from 7th. Londa Tim down to 4th with that 5-second penalty, but he could yet win this race in the stewards room. He did his 5th after starting on pole. Polizzi Alex is 6th. RSRL Eisen is 7th. XL Don is 8th. Low key event for him. Lars is 9th after those costly penalties. Dark is 10th. Darry 11th. ST5 is 12th. Ibo is 13th. Fuckstorm 14th. Rocky Raccoon 15th. A dire couple of races for him. And Jav is 16th and last after leaving the session. So that wraps up Austria. I have to say, I have thoroughly enjoyed that. I mean, I said before we went there, I'm not sure if I was feeling it today. Didn't have that energy, but I have to say, that has invigorated me. Seeing that breathless action on track, it's been fantastic stuff. And many congratulations to Doc and Callie. Do you have a final word for us, Matt, on what we've seen today?
Yeah, it's of course, a couple of drivers who just performed really well. I'd say Doc and Callie both like deserved drivers of the day, just for differing reasons. Doc for all round results, and for Callie for being able to limit the damage that he limit the damage to his championship lead. And I think he's still in the lead, if I'm correct.
I think he is, because he outscored the Tim in the feature race. I think what was a bigger threat to him this race was VTI Dog. He was 27 points behind. I think he's cut that by 10-15 points, but I'm not absolutely sure, as I'm not clued up on the scoring for F2. I'll have a look now, actually, before we end the stream. So. So we'll just have a look at the top of the standings. So it's 25 points in the for the win in the feature race, 22 for second. So Doc only outscored him by 3 points in the feature. In the sprint, he's outscored him by 5 points as it stands. So that will mean an 8-point reduction in Callie's championship lead over Dog, which takes it down to 19. I think he may well have outscored Tim this event, even if Tim gets the win by virtue of the feature race. So all in all, not a bad week for Callie. He's still in a strong position in the championship. He limited that damage that Doc did. And he'll just have to hope that he has a stronger result next week at Belgium. Just 2 rounds to go, so do tune in, do join us next week for the Belgian round 11 of the Formula 2 D2 season. It's been a cracker today. No reason why it can't be more of the same next week. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you then.